Hello and welcome back to Pit Stop Insider TV. As always, this is your host Andrew Cardinale up in the booth. Tonight we're back with the All-Star Sim Racing Manifold Truck Series, and we should have a thriller on hand tonight. We're at Dover Downs International Raceway here in Dover, Delaware, and boy, it's 126 laps. I'll be up here alone, so there may be some breaks for brief silence, just so I can make sure I can keep commentating the rest of the race, make sure I can keep my breath, but we've got, like I said, 126 laps on hand tonight. This is the third race of the chase over here in the Manifold Truck Series with All-Star Sim Racing. And once again, it's fitting to be one of the most exciting races so far. This very tight, very fast racetrack. That means we're going to see a lot of high-banked, closely packed racing, especially on these restarts, and we'll see how they fan out over a long run. Hopefully we get one of those. We've seen every race so far get at least one or two long runs with these guys, so that's already a plus right there. Qualifying is just wrapping up. That's why we don't see any trucks on the track right now. We're just seeing the Turn 2 complex here, right under the bridge. We spent about 2 hours last night making sure all the cameras are all set for this race this evening. So everything should be in tip-top condition. Should be a nice show for everyone. And without further ado, hopefully qualifying should roll over any second. And just real quick, I'll give a brief overview of the standings of the top 12 in the chase coming into tonight's event. Chris R. Jennings up top. He's got a 1-point lead over Jeremy Bazemore. They each have a win in the chase. Then it goes to Mike Perry in third place. Jeremy Rittenberg in fourth. Matthew Cox in fifth. Doug McCullum tied for Matthew Cox for fifth. Jimmy North in seventh. Kurt Rittenberg in eighth. James McKee, or Jimmy McKee, in ninth. He is a total of 14 points back. Then it goes to he's 24 points back. Then it goes to David Dolliver in 10th. He is 26 back. And the back two are Scott Brotherton and Jeff Gilmore. Jeff Gilmore hasn't been able to make a start yet in the chase. This will be his first start of the chase. He is on hand tonight in the number 57 TN Designs Chevrolet Silverado, and it looks like we're getting ready to get going racing. We're going to take a brief moment. We're not going anywhere. We're just going to take a brief moment to go through the cameras for tonight. Just going to cycle through them all. So you'll see some of the angles that we'll have tonight. As we get ready for the field to get going, we're going to do a quick rundown of the starting lineup. Up in P1, we've got Blake O'Connell, followed by David Cook and Scott Simley. In fourth, sorry, that is the number 2. Sorry, just having a brief, interesting bit with our standings here. That's Mike Kelly in the number 2, then Scott Brotherton, Jeremy Bazemore and Aiden Young in 7th, Cody Spiker in 8th, Mike Perry in 9th, Louis Robinette and Jeff Gilmore takes you to 11th, then Mike Montesi, Doug McCullum, Matthew Cox, and Jeremy Rittenberg, then Randy Roberts, David Oliver, Michael Sunick, and it looks like... Actually, no, there's Jeremy Rittenberg, Richard Fletcher, sorry. That's twice. I didn't catch the name. So once again, that is Blake O'Connell on pole. We're getting ready to come to the green here. We'll go to TV3 and let you watch this restart. Or start of the race, rather. Once again, that's Blake O'Connell out front in the number 67. Daly Cook to his outside. Waiting some more.
Green.
Flag is in the air. Blake O'Connell starts the race from the 49. Down to the turn one this time. Blake O'Connell on point. David Cook follows in behind him in P2. After that, Scott Sinley in the number 68 truck. So you'll notice we have a few new drivers on here today. If I kind of pop out the some of these guys out here. Sizable lead over third, but David still on his back end. Got Scott Sidley back there in P3 still. If we take a bit of a look back in the first place, we get to Aiden down. It's a pit stop inside of Chevy. So let's start with this group here tonight. Looks like I may have had an audio issue there at the start. Not totally sure if you guys could hear me or not, but if you couldn't, Blake O'Connell got out to that lap 1 lead, and we already have a caution. As we look for where that caution was, looks like that was the number 10 of Mike Perry. We finally found that one. Took me a second to find that. Let's see if we can't get an idea of what happened here coming down into turn 1. In front of Cody Spiker and Jeff Gilmore. Looks like he maybe got tagged by the 19, got loose into the corner. Take another look back at that. Not really sure what happened there into turn 1, but the number 10 went around, ended up overcorrecting into the wall head on. That's going to possibly end his night. Yeah. Looked like maybe Cody expected him to be higher up the track, but he couldn't really go higher, so that's certainly, it looks like a mistake on Cody Spiker's part. Certainly, of course, nothing intentional, but we'll see if we can't get yet another look back at that. Yeah, actually it looked like the 10 might have got the wall. Either way, just really close racing there, and a little bit of contact was enough to send the 10 around. Hopefully he can continue on, but it's going to be tough. He's definitely got a lot of damage to that number 10 truck, back and front. So now that we've kind of got an idea of the feel of Dover International Raceway, here on this restart we're going to give you the spotter cam and show you what a spotter would see here at Dover. We'll actually switch there now. You can see a very low visibility, really. The trucks are pretty small. You got to really know what the truck looks like that you're going to be spotting for, and you know, you can see the fence maybe isn't the most convenient thing in the world. But nonetheless, it's a very important job here in NASCAR racing, and looks like we have maybe 2 to green. So we'll see if we can't get a talk with Aiden Young. Aiden Young, this is Andrew up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you, Andrew.
All right, well, it's looking like you're off to a pretty decent run so far. We don't have many laps in, obviously, but you're certainly moving forward from where you started. Based on that short run right there, what can you tell us about the track, the truck, and what we can expect for tonight?
It's just really tight right now. It's pretty much, it's either you're going to hit the wall or you just got to be easy with the tires and keep it out of the wall here.
Yeah, I did a little bit of practice myself. It seemed almost like one lap it was tight, one lap it was loose. Hopefully you can make some noise in that number 999 Pit Stop Insider Chevrolet tonight. We wish you the best of luck. Hopefully we get to talk to you more, and yeah, be looking for you to make some noise here. It looks like you're restarting third for this restart.
10-4.
Again, that was just a quick talk with Aiden Young. He is a Pit Stop Insider driver. We'll be coming to the green this time. It looks like we've got Mike Kelly on point now in that number 2. Like I said just a moment ago, we're going to go to the spotter cam, though, for the restart. And as you can see down that back straightaway, it's very hard to see just what's going on. So we'll show you what it's like to maybe be a spotter here at NASCAR at Dover, and just some of the challenges that they would have to endure for a lap or so. As the green flag is out, the number 2 already off to a lead here ahead of the 999, 67 and 49 as they battle coming out of turn 2. As you can see, spotter camera, it doesn't show you a whole lot, but if you were a spotter here in NASCAR, like I said, that'd be about what you have to work with. We'll show you one more lap with that and then go on board with that battle for second. As we can see, the field's already out single file for most of the field, if not the whole top 10, top 15, even top 20 here. Gonna go on board now with Blake O'Connell. He's been making a lot of noise here in the Manifold Truck Series, but hasn't been able to close out a win just yet. Here he is following David Cook underneath the number 999 of Aiden Young. It looks like these guys are they're battling the track more than the other trucks, and that's exactly what you can expect at any race here at Dover. Really, it's more of a battle against the track than anything. But we see Blake gave Aiden a bit of a break there. Nice to see some give and take here early in the run. And that's the name of the game here in this series especially. It's one thing I've really noticed here with these guys is they really do give a lot of room. They don't really cram you for anything until the end of the race, really, if even then. Definitely give a lot of room and don't get mad very easily over here at the Manifold Trucks. There's a lot of respectful racing, a lot of very clean racing, as we see already continuing again tonight. Here in the Dover 126, we're already through, it looks like, 15 of 126 laps, so that means we've got 111 left to go. Mike Kelly on point. He's had the lead since the restart, back about 6 laps ago. I'm going to take you through the field of some of our bigger name chase drivers. We're going to just go down the line numerically. First off, we've got Kurt Rittenberg sitting back here in P16. He's following, it looks like, number 23, David Dolliver around here. Maybe not having the night he wants to have so far, but it's certainly early yet. We're only on lap 17 of 126. Still over 100 to go, so it's certainly not go time yet, but if this is any indicator, maybe he'll be looking to change things around by mid-race. Jeremy Rittenberg in the number 1 is battling with Scott Brotherton, actually, in the number 3, so he's who we were going to go to next. Jeremy Bazemore, of course, won last week at New Hampshire. Definitely been putting on a commanding run since Richmond, really. He's been showing a lot of strength in that number 1 Haas Chevy as he goes by Scott Brotherton, sorry. And speaking of Scott Brotherton in the Rims 1 Chevrolet, he comes into this race in kind of a need-to-win situation. He showed a lot of strength. He won at Richmond, but since then he's been on kind of a downhill slide in that number 3. And he'll certainly be looking to turn that around here tonight. He's currently running 7th behind Jeremy Bazemore, who is 6th. Next up, we go to Matthew Cox, the number 04 in the Pepsi DuPont Chevrolet. He's following Louis Robinette right now in the number 30. They're battling for 11th. Next up on our list, we go to the number 10 of Mike Perry in the AARP Drive and Hunger Chevrolet. He was in that first accident. He's now fallen way back. He's all the way back in 18th right now. So definitely by no means a good run for him at the moment. But the good news is, just like with Kurt Rittenberg, this is a long race and it's very early. So he has a lot of time to try and turn that around and try and salvage what he can out of tonight. After him, we go to David Dolliver in the number 23, currently running 15th. Another one of those guys maybe not running a stellar race just yet, but definitely looking to just try and make it to the end of this race and try and keep in the hunt for the championship. Jeremy Rittenberg just ahead of him in 14th. He hasn't had a stellar run at all in the chase just yet. He's certainly been showing strength, but hasn't really closed anything out just yet. We're watching that number 26 Toyota Tundra go around here at Dover. Doug McCollum, rather, it looks like maybe didn't make the show. He was in the battle for the championship. I do believe he beat out Cody Spiker. Jeff Gilmore making his first start back in a few weeks in that number 57 T&M Design Chevrolet. Like we said on the top of the show, it's been a while since we've seen him on track, but back at Darlington and at Richmond, he showed some strength, especially at Darlington. Between those two, he really had a pretty good run. It's been surprising to not see him on track since Richmond. Missed Chicago, missed New Hampshire, but he might be able to close it out tonight. You never know. That might be able to get him off into the next round of the chase. As Lee Robinette trying to move in on him for P10. And it looks like that's all of the chase drivers in attendance tonight. We'll go back up to the point. That's Mike Kelly trying to fend off David Cook. David Cook, since coming back at Chicago, has been one of the guys to beat. Even if he isn't in the chase, he's been one of the guys just always up front, always mixing it up for the win, especially there at Chicago. It was really interesting to me that he he didn't win, considering he had the dominant truck in the first half of the race, if not longer. But Chris Jennings was able to take that win away, as David Cook now in pursuit of the number 2 truck, Mike Kelly for the lead. Looks like Mike Kelly's able to hold that lead over David Cook, at least for now, but David Cook going nowhere, still on the tailgate of that number 2 truck, and it looks like maybe the number 10 will come into effect here as a lapped car here soon. We'll go through the field this time properly. Up front, we still got Mike Kelly, then David Cook. In third, that's going to be Aiden Young in the 999. Following him up on his tailgate, that's Blake O'Connell, like we said, one of the stronger trucks so far since we became partners with All-Star Sim Racing and the Manifold Truck Series. He's been showing a lot of muscle ever since Darlington when we came onto the scene, and he's doing no different tonight, running 4th so far, just running nice and consistently week in, week out. Then we go to the 68, first time we've seen him on track with us. That's Scott Simley, rather. In 6th place is Mike Montesi. He's been one of the stronger guys here in the series, definitely showing no different, showing no signs of slowing down. He may only be running 6th at the moment, but he's still up front. And this is, like we've said a few times, a long race, and we've still got almost 100 laps to go. So look for him to really mix it up as the run goes on. And as we get closer to the checkered flag here, I expect that 7 to get further up to the front. In 7th, though, Scott Brotherton finally got back by Jeremy Bazemore. Jeremy Bazemore starting to fall back. Scott Brotherton needing a good run tonight, if not a win, to keep himself in the chase. He's followed up by Cody Spiker. It's good to see him finally turning his last few races around for the better. You know, the last few weeks he's really struggled, and it wasn't even his fault. He's just gotten into a lot of bad luck. Been wrecked a couple of times, and finally now it looks like at Dover he's starting to turn that around, running 8th so far, up ahead of Matthew Cox, who is needing some points for the championship. Matthew Cox, the number 04, has been one of the quieter ones, maybe one of the dark horses, if you will, in this championship battle, but he certainly is showing no signs of submission here as he's closing in on the 19. Looks like maybe the 19 got into the wall that time out of turn 4. Behind them, that's Lee Robinette in the number 30. Again, he's been one of the quieter guys. He's not in the battle for the championship. He's been one of the quieter guys that shows speed at the end of the race. So he could be another one that we talk about later on if he keeps that number 30 truck clean. He currently rounds out your top 10. Looks like we got him blinking a little bit. We'll head over to the number 1. Actually, he just got passed by Jeff Gilmore. Moved Jeff Gilmore up into 10th with the connection issue for the number 30. Jeff Gilmore, another one of those guys, just like Scott Brotherton, needing a win to keep his hopes alive in that number 57 TN Design Chevrolet. He has by no means had a good run because he hasn't been here. So since Richmond, you know, he I believe was out either on vacation or with computer issues. I'm not sure on that. Maybe if we get a chance to talk to him later, we can ask him. But he's showing just a nice, consistent run going so far. It's going to be tough for him to just hop back in and pick up right where he left off. So maybe not looking for him to be one of the guys to mix it up all race, but hopefully he'll be there at the end to try and contend for something then. In P11, that's going to be Jeremy Bazemore, won last week like we've documented a few times. And he's probably one of the stronger guys next to Chris Jennings, who wasn't in attendance tonight, and Scott Brotherton, who actually has had kind of a dismal run so far in the chase. But Jeremy Bazemore there in the number one, I believe he's locked in, so he can just run easy tonight. Isn't needing to push super hard. If anything, can just have a non-factor kind of night here at Dover Downs. In the number 34, that's Michael Sunick in 12th position. He's currently trying to hold off the number 26 to Jeremy Rittenberg, who is needing points for the chase. Jeremy Rittenberg making the move down into turn one. He's going to look to take 12th place away, and he will. David Dolliver is going to follow through on the bottom. David Dolliver also in the chase battle. He's going to take, looks like, 13th away from the number 34, Michael Sunick. Behind them, that's Kurt Rittenberg, another one of the guys, like we said, just needing to maintain what he's got, try and get some more points for the championship. And behind them, it looks like we maybe don't have anyone else that's running aside from the number 10. That's Mike Perry running 16th, it looks like. Yeah, he's several laps down and just getting lapped. He's definitely got a lot of damage to that truck. The truck is certainly hurting. It's not going anywhere quick. So unfortunate to see for him tonight, but hopefully he can maybe try and just hang on to what he's got and try and salvage something if we get a few cautions towards the end of the race. Going back up to the front, though, just in front of Mike Perry, actually, the number 2 is holding off David Cook pretty nicely. He's actually opened that lead up to almost half a second now. And this is when tires are going to start to come into play. It looks like we've got a truck down low. Not sure who that was, actually. Not sure who that was. Maybe the 7... No? Yeah, I'm not sure who that was coming out of the pits, but as we go back up to the lead battle, David Cook continuing to lose some time to Mike Kelly. Looks like maybe trying to run a different line now. As David Cook just trying to make up some time in that number 49 unsponsored Chevy Silverado. And we will take just a moment here as we near lap 50 to take a quick commercial break. Going to show you a couple of commercials for the NMNTS Racing Series. We are currently working on commercials for All-Star Sim Racing, ourselves and other companies. So we only have NMNTS commercials for now, but we're working on others. They just take a while because they are, kind of more professional productions that we're trying to put out. So getting back to it, here's we near lap 50. You're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
In this cauldron of fiery wills and burning competition, rivalries heat up quicker. This is an oval of stolen victories and crushed dreams, filled with volumes of unfinished business. Sooner or later, you all become rivals. With everyone fighting over one finish line, there's never enough glory to go around.
And as we come back here, it looks like David Cook is falling victim to some of these faster guys that came in while we were away at commercial break. There were some pit stops made by, it looks like, most of the field. I mean, definitely by most of the field. Looks like we've still got the top 3 or 4 that have not pitted yet. maybe 7 or 8. But for sure, most of the field's already come in, made their stop, gotten tires and fuel in the truck. Looks like here, though, Blake O'Connell's going to have to be patient with the number 2. The number 2 is the leader. Blake O'Connell, a lap truck that just pitted, and it looks like Mike Kelly will give him the line that time. But, you know, that's going to be something that comes into play here is these faster trucks going around. The leaders can get pretty dicey, and it can turn into an accident really quick. Looks like we're going to take a look at pit entry real quick, see if we can't see if these guys are coming down pit road. Hopefully we catch some of these guys coming in. We'll take another look back at that in a lap or so. For now, we're going to go on board. We're going to go on with the number 999. That's Aiden Young. Looks like maybe these guys have slowed down quite a bit over the run. Of course, you know, the tires are going away. Truck's handling differently. Not going to be as loose with less weight on the back end of the truck to hook the rear tires up. Plus, like we said, not a whole lot of grip back there anyways. But Aiden Young making the most of it. He's currently running 4th, 7 seconds back of the leader. Mike Kelly still out front, followed by David Cook, Scott Simley, Aiden Young, and Mike Montesi. Those guys have not pitted yet. It looks like the first guy who has pitted is going to possibly be around 9th or 10th. We've got Jeremy Bazemore in the pits. Not sure what that's about. Possibly a penalty. We'll see if he rolls through or takes service here. He's got some damage to the right front of the truck. It means he's definitely been in the wall at one point or another. And I would assume that's why he fell back to begin with on that long run that we just had. We'll let you know if we see anyone else come in. He stopped. Looks like he is possibly getting service. So that number 1 back on the jacks, getting gas. Not sure what's up there. Scott Brotherton coming into the pits. Looks like he maybe hadn't pitted yet. He was on the tail end of the lead lap, or maybe he had pitted and is coming back down through the pits. He's coming into his pit stall, so maybe he just hadn't pitted yet. The right side jacks up, so not sure there. We'll go back up to the front, though. Mike Kelly's still on track, has not pitted yet. Followed by David Cook, Scott Simley, and Aiden Young, all who have not pitted, and Mike Montesi in 5th. And actually, Mike Montesi is trying to make a last-second charge in this run at Aiden Young. Aiden Young going to be the next truck up ahead of him, so that black and yellow dot exiting turn 4 now is going to be Aiden Young from the view of Mike Montesi. So Mike Montesi has a target to try and chase down right now, but it's going to be hard with very little life left in those tires and very little weight in the back to try and weigh it down to give it a little bit of rear bite. But Mike Montesi, nonetheless, trying to do what he can, gain some time here towards the end of this run. David Cook still trying to chase down the leader of Mike Kelly, but I think at this point it's going to be too late, too late in the run. Maybe might want to try and undercut to try and gain some time on the leader. Mike Montesi in the pits, barely gets it slowed down there. The field will go by him at speed. We'll have to wait and see if he gets a penalty. He was definitely locking the wheels up. We'll see if we can't get another look at that maybe. So this is the replay of Mike Montesi coming down into the pits. We'll go to the pit lane entry camera and see if we can't wait for him to come around, see if we can't get a view of what happened. He should be coming around any time. Here he is. It was definitely locking the back tires that maybe didn't get down to speed. We'll see. Just have to wait and see. It looks like he's exiting the pits now. So we'll watch and see if he comes back down pit road or not. David Cook in the pits. So that should draw the number 2 of Mike Kelly into the pit road. We'll have to wait and see what he does. He's going to stay out at least one more lap. We'll switch back to that number 49 for a moment. I wouldn't be surprised to see Aiden Young come down now either. I'm sure he'll come in just to try and contend. Matthew Cox looks like he had to come back down. It looks like maybe these guys are having to come back down for penalties or just maybe didn't get service completed the first time. Jeff Gilmore will take advantage of David Cook pitting now, move up into 4th. If a caution was to come out now, it would definitely help these guys that haven't pitted yet. So that's one part of staying out this long, is if you can catch a caution, it's going to help you out a ton. I mean, Mike Kelly would, of course, be the leader, as there's David Cook coming out of the pits, lost at least a lap to Mike Kelly. But Mike Kelly would remain the leader, obviously, right now. Scott Simley would be able to be second. As here we've got the 2 coming in, followed by the 23. And we had 2 trucks there come in at the same time. We'll look for maybe the 999 to come in or maybe stay out one more lap. The 68 car, he's into the pits. As the 999 will assume the lead, that's Aiden Young in the pit stop inside of Chevrolet. We've got 60 laps to go. Looks like maybe a one-stop race if Aiden Young can stretch this run out long enough. Possibly Jeff Gilmore looking to do the same thing. He's going to assume second for now. He's coming out of turn 2 this time. Back to the 999, though, he's just keeping a nice pace, trying to, go as long as he can, I'd assume, to try and maybe make this a one-stop race from here. Maybe some of these guys that pitted earlier are going to have to come in one more time after this. As Mike Kelly exits the pit road, he'll come back on the track, rejoin in possibly 6th, I'm not sure. Jeremy Rittenberg down the pits. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's already been here. So yeah, it looks like maybe a lot of guys with an extra pit already. I'm not totally certain. It's definitely a little bit confusing to me, at least, to see all these guys coming back in. But we've got Aiden Young coming into the pits this time. So Aiden Young will follow Mike Perry into the pits. We'll see if the number 57 stays out. He will. Jeff Gilmore, mark him P1. He just took over the lead through the pit cycle. I wouldn't be surprised if Aiden Young was thinking that he's now able to go the rest of the distance in this race on this stop alone. And I think Jeff Gilmore maybe just wants a little bit more security. David Dolliver, we know, is on fresh tires. Jeff Gilmore hasn't pitted yet. He almost gets in the wall, but keeps it off the wall for now. And this is the kind of run that, if a caution comes out now, this is what Jeff Gilmore needs. So this could be a pretty good strategy call if you were to get a caution. Aiden Young exiting the pits here. Blake O'Connell has not pitted yet. Mike Kelly has, though, and he is only 5 seconds behind Blake O'Connell and only 17 behind Jeff Gilmore, who we see continues to run laps around Dover Downs. Still out front in that TN Design Chevrolet. It's very brightly colored. It's colored so to be noticeable for the chase. You'll see a lot of chase drivers from here on out coloring their numbers yellow, their banner spoilers as well, just to be more noticeable for us up in the booth and you guys at home, so you guys can see if they're a chase driver or not, basically. So hopefully that helps you guys out. It definitely helps me out quite a bit. Again, Mike Kelly trying to close in on Blake O'Connell. Maybe Blake O'Connell has pitted. I'm not totally certain there. So as we near 50 laps to go, we continue to watch Jeff Gilmore run around Dover International Speedway on very old tires, trying to maybe wait on a caution here, or just make it so that it's a one-stop race for him. Not totally certain, but Mike Kelly definitely closing in on Blake O'Connell. David Cook 3 seconds behind Mike Kelly, or actually 2.5 rather. And it looks like most of the pits have calmed down just a bit. Maybe now, we won't get that crazy, the crazy amounts of guys coming in. And this time, actually, as I was just saying, maybe we're done with pits for a little bit. Jeff Gilmore's going to head down pit road. We'll see if Blake O'Connell follows or if he's already made a stop. As the 57 rolls by, he's going to lose the lead. Blake O'Connell will assume it. Mike Kelly will follow. So now mark Blake O'Connell as the leader. He's assumed the lead, as we just mentioned. Looks like maybe, yeah, he's definitely come in. He was running a lot better lap times than Jeff Gilmore. So he's already come in, it looks like. But we'll see if he has to come in again. We're not totally certain on the pit window. Looks like Mike Perry rolling slow around the bottom, just trying to stay out of the way. Jeff Gilmore now exiting the pits. And he can fire off. There he goes. Multiple cars going around on the top side, but he should only fall back to about 6th, maybe 7th. Maybe a little further than that. Continue to watch where Jeff Gilmore emerges back in. Mike Montesi tried to go around the top side. Now Gilmore with the better tires, and the bottom powers right back by him like he's standing still. Got a car there in the pits. Mike Perry. So Jeff Gilmore fell all the way back to 15th, actually. He's a lap down now, but we'll see if that pays off in the long run. I think it will, personally. I think he waited long enough that, he will definitely only have to make one stop. It's a matter of the rest of these guys, whether or not they can go on just one more, or if they have to come in, or go from here to the end, rather, or if they have to come in to top off. Mike Kelly, though, he's rolling right back up to the number 67 of Blake O'Connell. He wants that lead back. We'll watch this battle unfold. Down to the inside, Mike Kelly goes for the lead. Blake O'Connell gives it up without contest. Mike Kelly back to the point. Didn't lead that lap, though, so it won't look official until he comes back around. Mike Kelly now your leader once again. David Cook back there. We saw him battling with another lap truck. David Cook trying to close in on these guys. He's gaining, it looks like, on both Mike Kelly and Blake O'Connell at the moment, but it looks like Mike Kelly might be the guy to beat here tonight. So Mike Kelly, your leader once again, he's trying to actually take off from Blake O'Connell and David Cook, and it's working so far. Blake O'Connell already well over his second back, even almost 2 seconds back, and David Cook trying to join in with him for the second place battle. That gap is getting smaller lap by lap, but it's not getting smaller to the leader. So I don't think David Cook will be able to get up to the number 2 of Mike Kelly without a caution, possibly. But nonetheless, with this very strong truck out here tonight, and it looks like these guys are going to take this show away from the Chase guys. I mean, we haven't really been talking about the chase guys at all, aside from that chase overview we had at the top of the show. Ever since then, really with the exception of Jeff Gilmore getting up there for the lead for a little while, it's been mostly these newer guys that have just stolen the show. Those being David Cook and Mike Kelly, and even Blake O'Connell, who we know has been here a little bit longer. As we'll watch this gap widen between the number 67 and number 49. That 49 with better tires able to just take off. Looks like maybe Blake O'Connell came in early to try and undercut the guys ahead of him, and it's backfiring now as he continues to lose a whole bunch of time to the leader, but only has lost a couple of spots so far. And he's got, looks like, almost 4 seconds back to Scott Simley. However, as we talk about the somewhat close battle up front, if we go a little further back, there's a whole bunch of cars that are already lapped down. Only the top 6 is on the lead lap. The last one of those drivers is going to be Aiden Young, running with Michael Sunick just in front of him, Mike Montesi as well. Mike Montesi would be for position, and the 67 in the pits. So definitely, called it out there. He's going to have to come back in. So he will be good to go from here on no more stops. We'll have to wait and see if anyone else will have to come back in. As we see there, this is what a spotter would see if he was calling a driver into the pit stall. It's pretty hard to see, really. So I think, if Blake O'Connell had an actual spotter instead of a sim-given spotter, they'd actually be further towards turn 1. But he will pull away here and leave pit road. Looks like he's going to lose a couple of laps to the number 2 of Mike Kelly, who continues to lead out here. Almost 4 seconds ahead of David Cook now in the number 49. That number 2 definitely setting a blistering pace out front. As we'll go on board in the cockpit with him now with the gyro cam. The Toyotas tonight will have the gyro cam. The Chevys will have a camera that looks at the driver. And you can see just how high banked this place really is. I mean, almost a perfect 45-degree angle it looks like, really, as the car goes down into the corner and settles into the banking, and the G-forces pull on that camera. But definitely an extreme kind of circumstances that the real guys have to deal with. These guys don't feel the G-forces around each corner, but they definitely have to deal with all the other factors, it seems like, aside from maybe the heat in the cockpit. As the real guys, iRacing is your number 1 motorsport simulator. If you don't know what iRacing is, like I said, number 1 motorsport simulator out there. It's on PC only. It is a web-based game, if you will, or simulator, since some guys don't like it being called a game. And as you can see here, you've got the NASCAR trucks, you've got NASCAR tracks like Dover and everywhere else that NASCAR runs, including the Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. So really, iRacing, it's expensive, but it's the real deal as far as driving the cars that you see on your television screen week in, week out. It's as close as you're going to get without actually doing it. So as we watch Aiden Young here, he's going to continue to try and run down the leader. He's actually made up a couple of seconds in the last couple of laps on Mike Kelly. And the belief here is that he doesn't have to come back in. So we'll see if that holds true. We'll see if he's able to make that work out for him. If we go and check on the number 57 of Jeff Gilmore. He's actually just made a pass for 10th, and he's looking to make one for 9th. That would be Jeremy Bazemore that he has to get by for 9th, and he's going to get him here. He's pulled up to his tailgate, makes the move down onto the low side of the track into turn 1. Jeremy Bazemore gives no fight, so maybe Jeff Gilmore will be one to watch. If Aiden Young isn't able to take this win, if the strategy goes their way. Personally, I think if Mike Kelly has to come back in, that's going to end up being the winning strategy. Because they went the longest, and, they won't have to pit again. So, if you look at all the time you lose here at this slow pit road here at Dover Downs, it's definitely more appealing to run longer so that you're able to only pit the one time. Back up to the front, though, Mike Kelly's still on point in the number 2 Toyota Tundra. Looks like the sponsor on his truck tonight, IKS. Not sure what that stands for. Gonna see if we can get a closer look at the truck, maybe. Again, not totally certain what IKS stands for. Maybe if he wins, then we can talk to him. We'll ask him. We've only gotten one caution tonight for just 4 or 5 laps. And that was at the start of the race, just about, looks like, I believe about 6 or so laps in. And since then, we've been green for well over 100 laps now. This race has gone by really quick. They're running 24-second lap times out here, at least Mike Kelly currently is. Last lap was a 24.439. This lap is a 24.496. So these guys are running 25-second lap times right now. It goes by really quick. Looks like we had a truck exiting pit road there, maybe the 23. Well, it's not him. Anyways, we'll carry on. Mike Kelly starting to lose some time, possibly to David Cook. We'll see what happens when the interval stretches back out down the straightaway. It does lengthen back out, but it looks like maybe David Cook has made up at least a couple of tenths on that number 2. And now if we go further back, we'll look at Aiden Young. That strategy starting maybe to not pay off quite as much. He's been running slower lap times lately than the leader by about 2-3 tenths as we come to 20 to go. We'll check back in with Jeff Gilmore. These guys are going to be the guys to watch if their strategy, or to see if their strategy plays out as they need it to. Again, they need everyone else that pitted before them to have to pit in order for this to work out, especially Jeff Gilmore, because he needs literally everyone to pit so he can try and get that win or restart late once it pays off, and he can gain some positions. But currently he's 1 lap down in 8th position. And since we're just inside 20 laps to go, we're going to take our final commercial break of the night. We'll be right back. Actually, real quick, we've got the number 3 coming into the pits, the number 1 in the pits currently with some damage to the back end of the truck. I'm not sure if maybe that's forced because of the damage or not. The number 3 in the pits, I'm not totally certain what's going on there. In any case, though, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. And as we come back here from that quick commercial break, we got David Cook heading down the pit road as we speak. That's going to surrender second position to Scott Simley in the number 68. As David Cook makes his way down pit road, Aiden Young will take over third. As this strategy's starting to pay off for Aiden Young, looks like he'll at least pick up a top 3, if not anything better. Mike Kelly, though, still out front, leading laps. We'll see if he has to come down pit road. I'm not sure if he will or not. But as far as Aiden Young and Jeff Gilmore are concerned, they definitely need him to. And that was a big moment out of turn 2 there. We saw the number 00 have to take evasive action there and miss the number 43. David Cook now exiting the pits. Kurt Rittenberg underneath Richard Fletcher, and the number 43, he clears him. He'll move up. Now Matthew Cox trying to make that same pass. Matthew Cox, Kurt Rittenberg running for position. Richard Fletcher, one extra lap down. Looks like the driver behind them for position is actually going to be David Cook. Oh, might have been some contact there. Is that the number 36? It's not the number 36. I'm not sure what truck that is there, but there was a little bit of contact. Looks like the number 09, actually. As he gets into the wall, overdrove turn 4, he gets into the wall hard. He's going to be in the wall all the way down the front straightaway. It's going to be a really tough break for Randy Roberts. Already 60 laps down. Looks like maybe he didn't start the race with the field. At any rate, though, Mike Kelly's still out front. We're coming to 10 to go this time by. He holds the lead over Scott Simley by 9 seconds, over Aiden Young by 21. And after that, everyone is a lap down. Mike Montesi, that first car that's a lap down, in 4th position. In the number 7, he's running with Matthew Cox, not for position. Cody Spiker follows him up. He's in 5th. In that TN Designs number 19. Then Jeff Gilmore, hoping that everyone ahead of him has to pit. He's currently running with teammate Blake O'Connell. Actually, that is for position. Blake O'Connell just got by him. So already that strategy not going to work out for Jeff Gilmore. So there's Blake O'Connell. He's just moved up into 6th. David Dahlberg is going to back them up. He's the next to last car that's just one lap down. He's in 8th. He's needing this kind of a run for him tonight. Hopefully he can hang on to it. But David Cook definitely looking to move in on him for that position. Jimmy Rittenberg going to follow up David Cook. He's the first car 2 laps down. And as David Cook has moved up into the 9th spot, like we said, he's chasing down David Dahlberg. Kurt Rittenberg, Jeremy's brother, trying to catch him for the 10th place position. After that, we finally get back to Michael Cox, as there goes Randy Roberts back around the number 04. Michael Sunick, the final car, just 2 laps down. As he enters turn 3 this time. Then we go to Richard Fletcher and Louis Robinette, finally back on track. We haven't had a caution in 120 laps now, as we come to 5 to go this time by. That's all these guys are going to have to try and make a move on Mike Kelly, which seems utterly impossible at this point. Aiden Young almost a lap down, but he has about 3 seconds to his credit to keep himself ahead of the leader. Looks like he'll be able to finish this one out in 3rd place on the lead lap. But Mike Kelly with a blistering pace out here all night long. We saw him kind of sit back on that starter run that was real short, and then as soon as the restart, as soon as the green flag was back out, he was in the lead already from pit stops and has not looked back once. 4 laps to go now. Mike Kelly is still your leader over Scott Simley in the number 68 and Aiden Young in the number 999. And as we come around to laps to go. The number 2 of Mike Kelly going to be able to finish this one out, it looks like, unless something happens in the next 2 miles here at Dover International Speedway in the Dover 126 for the All-Star Sim Racing Manifold Truck Series. This is the chase. Mike Kelly, though, not in it. He came in a little bit late. We haven't seen him until now, actually. He's going to round turns 3 and 4. Coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go for Mike Kelly this time by. And he is just 1 Dover lap away from claiming the Monster Mile here in the All-Star Sim Racing Manifold Truck Series. Three and 4 for the final time. It's Mike Kelly out front. He's going to hang on to it. He led the entire back half of that race, really. He's going to claim the Dover 126. Mike Kelly, your winner at the Monster Mile. We saw him thread the needle there. We're going to follow up with the number 68. He's going to cross the line. He's going to take second place. That's Scott Simley. Aiden Young a ways back, but he's going to come home in third place. And after Aiden Young, everyone's going to be a lap down, but David Cook will take fourth, followed by Cody Spiker in fifth. We'll see if we can't find the number 19. He's already taken it off the track. Then the number 67 in sixth. Looks like there was a wreck at the end, actually. Not sure what happened there. We'll see if we can't follow up on this one. Looks like maybe the 04 might have gotten the wall coming to the line. Yeah, the 04 tight out of turn 4. David Cook came up and just never lifted for those guys. Not sure what was up there, but that ended up causing a wreck there at the back half of it all. But we'll go back up. We'll watch Mike Kelly do some burnouts in the number 2, and we'll see if we can't pull some of these guys aside for post-race interviews. Aiden Young, Andrew up in the booth. You got a copy.
I got you, Andrew.
All right, well, Aiden, I mean, you put on a stellar performance out there. Maybe not what you were looking for, as in you didn't go out there and get the win in your first start with the All-Star Sim Racing guys, but definitely still a stellar run to come up third. Looks like maybe you were trying a pit strategy that just didn't work out. Maybe anticipated these guys having to come in once more, I would assume. But like we said there, it didn't work out for you. What can you tell us about that entire 120 lap run there that you guys just went through?
It was just very tricky to get through traffic, just trying to get as many spots as you can and keep yourself out of getting into a lap car and wrecking yourself. So that was the trickiest part, and not hitting the wall.
For sure. Well, is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go and celebrate the third place run with your team?
I just want to thank Pit Stop Insiders, all these guys for letting me come and run with them, and good job to Mike Kelly on the win.
All right, for sure. Well, we'll let you get back up there. Once again, congrats on the third place run, and we will hopefully talk to you in the future.
10 more.
All right, and now we're going to try and bring up second place finisher Scott Simley. Scott, you got a copy?
Yeah, sure do.
All right, well, that was a great run from you, and it looks like maybe your teammate in the number 2, Mike Kelly. Once again, awesome run there. You guys definitely put on a show. Took command of this entire race, really. What can you tell us about the 120 or so laps that you just went through, how you approached it, and how you ended up in second?
Just tried to take it easy. It's easy to run hard, and I still have an issue with this track. I tried to even pace myself and back up my corners even more, but I still think I'm running too hard because there's a lot more tire burned off that right front than probably should be. But it was a lot of fun. Still a lot of good. It's a clean race, so it's good to have that.
All right, well, for sure. Once again, congratulations on running second. Is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go celebrate with your team?
Thank you guys for broadcasting. I didn't know it was broadcast tonight, but thanks for you guys for doing the broadcast. Mike Kelly did a good job tonight. Fast. I think it's one of his favorite tracks, so goes to show, I guess. Hippie's Paint Shop, friends and family if they're out there watching, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, well, thank you for joining us up here after the race. We'll let you get back with your team, and we'll actually get caught up with Mike Kelly in just a moment. All right, so Mike Kelly, congratulations on your win. First of all, this is Andrew up in the booth with PSI TV. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, thanks. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. I'm sure you're doing a lot better, though, after that win. It was definitely a stellar run there. You definitely set the pace all night long, and it was a blistering one, too. What can you tell us about that run? And, I mean, just really how you approached it, considering you just straight took off from everyone else and were able to hang on for the win there.
Yeah, that was a torrid pace there. I didn't really want to run that hard. This is one of my better tracks probably, and I took 2 tires on that first yellow there just to get track position, and David really kept the heat on me. He made me run probably harder than I wanted to, but I still tried to save. I just tried to run as hard as I had to and stay ahead of him. I didn't want to let him get around me, so I just hugged the bottom and seemed to work. He faded towards the end of that run, and then I had a pretty decent cushion there, and I just ran my pace there from that last stop till the end, and worked out well.
All right, well, once more, congratulations. Before I ask you who you want to thank, what can you tell us about the sponsor that's on your hood, IKS? What's that stand for?
That's in Sarah, Kelly, and Sewell. It's personal injury attorneys, my brother's law firm, and he came on and decided to sponsor me this year for all the leagues I run in, and I appreciate their support. And that's about all I can say about that.
All right, well, certainly we're wondering what that was on your hood about mid-race there. So anyone else you want to thank in addition to them?
Turn 1 Heroes, my team, Scott Simley. We've raced together a long time, managed to pull off the 1-2 tonight. So thanks to him for being a great teammate. And we have a lot of fun going around the different leagues and racing, and it was a good run for us tonight.
For sure. Well, once more, congratulations on that commanding run. Definitely put on a show for us up here. Let you get back and celebrate with your teammate Scott Simley, and hopefully we see you back here in the future.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for doing the broadcast. It's great to have you on.
No problem. All right, and now that we've got the top 3 interviews out of the way real quick, we're going to take a moment just to thank our sponsors. Scott Brotherton Images, we've got his logo up there right now, along with TN Designs, Pit Stop Insider, where we get our name, Pit Stop Insider TV, and Oliver Mobile Fleet Repair, as well as, Speed with Attitude Motorsports. All 5 of those groups really doing a lot to back us, as well as of course, the All-Star Sim Racing Manifold Truck Series. Their Piston Cup Series, I believe, is what their Tuesday series is called. Unfortunately, not broadcast by us. I don't think it's broadcast by anyone, but definitely show your support for All-Star Sim Racing if you can. They have their page on Facebook. They have a website, I believe that's allstarsimracing.com. And we're going to bring up the highest finishing chase driver. That is Jeff Gilmore. Jeff Gilmore, you're the highest finishing chase driver out there tonight, and you haven't been here for 2 weeks. So what? Excuse me, sorry. What can you tell us about your run tonight?
Well, that makes a lot more sense that I'm getting an interview now. I didn't know that, but yeah, missing 2 weeks is not the best if you're a chaser, but I had to come out and try to win one of these last 2, and with pit strategy there, tried something, hoping to catch a caution the right way, but it didn't fly, of course. Yeah, so it was tough, but I'll try better next week.
All right, well, real quick, before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank for tonight and moving forward in your chase run?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I want to thank my sponsors, Pit Stop Insider and TN Designs. Pit Stop Insider for the broadcast as well. It's great. It's great to be part of the team. Great to be part of this team. Teammates there too, Cody, Matthew, and Blake. Great bunch of guys. Always helping out in the practice sessions and stuff. Got to get some help in qualifying. Missing out on qualifying. We're missing something there. I had a brake issue tonight, so that kind of threw me off. But I was hoping for a top 5. Finished 7th, I guess, there with the staying out way too long. So anyway.
All right. Well, thanks once again for coming up and talking to us. Definitely great to have you here, and definitely great to have the series as a whole on board. We'll let you go up there and debrief with the team, and I wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thanks, sir. Have a good one.
And again, that was Jeff Gilmore in the top 3 finishers. Jeff Gilmore because he was the top chase finishing driver. Overall, I think that was a great race for these guys tonight. Only that one caution at such a challenging track definitely shows the skill and the respect these guys have for one another. And really, hopefully, we see this continue. We've seen this so far in every race we've broadcast with these guys. Definitely a great league over here at All Star Sim Racing. You can contact them once again on Facebook, All Star Sim Racing on Facebook. They also have a website. I'll get you the exact address real quick. allstar-simracing.com. You can check out all the latest news regarding the series at that website. And I think that's going to be it for us tonight with Pit Stop Insider TV. Once again, this has been Andrew up in the booth. Hope to have you back next week. I believe we will be at, I want to say Charlotte. So hopefully we get you back for the race next week. This was definitely a thrilling race, but definitely a very green-oriented race, pit stop strategy-oriented race. Hopefully you enjoyed. Mike Kelly is your winner tonight here in the Dover 126 for the All-Star Sim Racing Manifold Truck Series in their chase. Once again, that's going to be all for tonight. Please join us back next week with the next race of the chase.